Feast your way through the holidays as we highlight sustainable ingredients for this season. Let's whip a little magic this Christmas with our cauliflower cheese mini tart recipe. Hi, I'm Chef Lara Lopez-Dizon from the Pastry Alliance of the Philippines. Welcome to Arla Pro Digital Kitchen Series. Okay, so for your crust, we will combine our all-purpose flour in this bowl here with our salt. Just dry blend it. You can use your bare hands. Basta make sure it's clean, okay? Then we have here our unsalted Arla sweet cream butter. Okay, so this is straight from the fridge, so malamig pa. Ilalagay natin, naka-cubes na. Then we're gonna cut your fat into the flour. So you can use actually your fork or pastry blender. Ako, masanay ako with my hand. So, diba, nirarub lang actually naman yan just to cut it in. It's easy enough. And for me, mas madali. Okay? Make sure na wala nang natitirang mga lumps of butter in there. Yan. This is almost done. So once wala na, we will add our cold water. So eto, nandyan sa tabi ko. Lalagay lang natin yung water. Okay. And then, stir lang natin para ma-combine lang. Okay? I don't want to knead naman the dough. I usually just fold it. So you can use, you can do it sa bowl, inside the bowl, if you don't want to make too much of a mess. But since later I'll be rolling it, I usually still transfer it to the table so I can actually move. Mas nakakagalaw ako. So we'll just put this here. Then I'll just fold. There. Just fold it. Yung mga crumbs na nakikita nyo, ayan, mga ganyan na crumbs, just fold it in. We're doing this, we want a little gluten, but not too much naman. Make sure that it forms, pero we don't want too much gluten. So at this point, I make it into a disc. Okay? Yan. So sisimutin ko lang yung mga flour na nahulog there. Make it into a disc and then transfer it to my bowl again. Or you can simply just cover this with a cling wrap. Then put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes to 1 hour until it sets. Para it would be easier for us to roll it later. There you go. Okay, so our dough has rested for 30 minutes inside the chiller. So we're going to roll it out. Okay. So I will need our flour for dusting. I don't want it to stick. So just dust your table. Okay. There you go. Place it on the table counter. Dust the top. Oops. And our rolling pin over here. Okay. So we're just going to roll this out. It doesn't have to be very thin because once you've cut it into small pieces with your cutter over here, we will roll it some more to fit our liners. Okay. Make sure you've dusted your table properly so it doesn't stick. So it doesn't have to be round, it doesn't have to be square, it's fine. Okay, now, put your ring on the flour there so it doesn't stick. Just cut through there. So we have one over here. I'll place it there first. So cut. The scraps, I don't need it I don't need, not need, but you can use it after. Just fold it together again and then roll it. Okay, so you can make more pie crust with the scrap. Okay, you don't have to throw it right away. There you go. So we'll just fold our crust together. Then we can rest it again, okay? Just put it inside the fridge, cling wrap again, of course. Then rest it. Then you can reuse it. Okay, so you can actually make around 18 for this size of liner. Okay, so I'll just place this again inside the chiller later. So we will get our flour over here, dust a little more. So we're going to roll, okay? Make sure you dust it with flour if it sticks, okay? Not too thin, okay? So you can stretch it once you put it inside the liner. There, so this is okay. So your liner is around 2 inch by 1.5, okay? So just place it in. There you go. If kulang ang pagka-roll nyo, it's fine. You can stretch it. So make sure that it's inside. So make sure everything's covered. There you go. It's very easy to put inside the liner. I don't usually put shortening anymore or oil. This is a very nice liner. It doesn't stick, so I like it very much. I use it a lot. There. There you go. So we'll make more. Again, if it sticks, you can add more flour to the dough. There. Just make sure that everything is covered. So all the sides even. Just stretch slowly going up or going down. There. There, done. So you can continue doing this for all your liners. So for this liner, I was able to make 18 tarts. Okay, so you can make this ahead of time. If you're going to bake tomorrow, you can make it today. Put a cling wrap on the liners and just put it inside your freezer. If you're using for later on today, just put it in the chiller. Okay, so as to not melt the butter. Again, there's a lot of butter in here, so we don't want it to melt. Okay, so here we have our boiling water. We're going to quickly blanch our cauliflower. Okay, so we're just gonna put salt into the pot. And then we're going to put all our cauliflowers in carefully. Make sure the water doesn't spill on you. There. Okay, so this will take about 2 minutes depending on the size of your cauliflower. So you will ask, how do we know if it's done? So you don't want your vegetable to be soft, okay? You still want that bite. So how can you tell? It usually brightens once it's done. So just look at the cauliflower. If it turns brighter than when you bought it, that's a sign that it's done. Okay, so now our cauliflowers are done. We're going to take them out and shock them to end the cooking process. Okay, we don't want our cauliflowers to continue cooking even if we take it out of the pot. Okay, there you go. So we're gonna turn this off. Okay, and then we're going to set this aside for later. Okay, so next we are going to saute our onions. So we have here our oil. Just heat it up. Okay, so we're going to saute our onions. There. This will take around probably 2 or 3 minutes just until our onions are translucent. So you can actually smell the sweetness of the onions once it's done. We don't want it to brown, just translucent. So you can lower the heat to make sure that your onions doesn't burn. Okay, medium or medium-low. There you go. Okay, so this is done. We'll transfer our onions into the bowl. Okay. There you go. So we are going to set this aside and we'll use it later. Okay, so now we're going to make our cheese sauce. So first, we need our Arla butter. We're going to make a roux. Okay. So we'll melt our butter. Then add our all-purpose flour. So we're gonna stir that. Okay, so we'll cook it. Just continue cooking. You can smell it. We don't want it to be brown, just enough that you are able to cook your flour before we add in our Arla full cream milk. Okay, so when we add our milk, make sure to lower the heat. Okay, we don't want lumps. Okay, slowly pour in the milk first. Okay, careful. There you go. Keep stirring, okay, whisking. Whisk so that there are no lumps. There. So when you're sure that there are no lumps in your milk, make sure you can turn up the heat. Continue whisking. Okay. So we're gonna add all of this in. All the Arla goodness, okay? Then we can turn up the heat a little more. There. Wait for it to simmer a little bit. Then we're going to add our grated red cheddar first, okay? There. So now that it's simmering, we'll add our grated red cheddar. And then our grated Gouda cheese. So for the Gouda, it's up to you if you want to use all of the cheese. I indicated 40 grams, but if you want to put less, that's okay. Okay, it's for your own taste preference. So just continue mixing this. We're waiting for everything to melt. Okay, so right there, it looks very creamy already. And it's getting thicker. So we're gonna add now our Parmesan cheese, half of it. Leave some for later. So we're gonna use it to sprinkle on top of our finished product. Okay, now we can add our seasoning, salt. Okay, dash of salt, probably more. White pepper. Okay, just stir first. Then we have our dried thyme. Okay. Stir. And for, of course, last is your cayenne pepper. There. So this is almost done. Right now, we can add in our cauliflower. Now, earlier I showed you my blanched cauliflower. They were much bigger. I cut it into smaller florets. Okay. We're gonna put everything in. And then, of course, our sauteed onions. There you go. So you can smell the onions already. The sweetness of the onions and the cheese smells so good. Then last, of course, is your bacon bits. You can buy bacon bits as is, or you can make it at home. So if you have bacons in your freezer, just put it on a pan, bake it for around 10 minutes at 300 degrees, or you can actually put it on a pan, then low heat, cook it until it becomes crunchy. So pwede din yun. There you go. So our cheese and cauliflower mixture is done. Now we're going to let this cool down for a little while. Then we're going to spoon it onto our crust. Okay, so we've transferred our cheese cauliflower mixture into this bowl. And now we're going to spoon our mixture into our dough. Okay? So you don't have to fill it in to the rim. So just up to here, I guess, like this. Okay, so it doesn't actually spill once it's baking because we're going to bake it at 400. So I don't want it to bubble too much and spill. Okay, so make sure that you get everything, not just the cheese sauce, okay? So it's very easy to make. Especially for if your kids doesn't like to eat gulay, just like mine, you can actually ask them to try this one. So they love cheese, definitely love Arla cheese. So they are going to love this cauliflower and cheese tart. There. So once we've spooned everything in, we're going to sprinkle our remaining Parmesan cheese on top. Okay, make sure you cover the top. Then we're going to bake this at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 6 to 10 minutes. So it depends on your oven. For me, it's around 10 minutes. Okay? So here we have our finished product. Okay, let me show you how it looks there. So this is not hot because of the paper, so you can handle it right from the oven. Here we also have an example of how you can package it for Christmas. Okay, so there we have it. Have a cheese-filled Christmas with our tasty cauliflower and cheese mini tart. All made better, of course, with our Arla Pro products. You can find our best Arla Pro products at any SNR membership clubs and look for our Arla Pro sales consultant ready to assist you for your dairy kitchen needs. Global Pacific Distribution Network is the exclusive food service distributor for Arla and Arla Pro products. Keep tuning in for more exciting holiday recipes with sustainable ingredients next week. Only here at Arla Pro Digital Kitchen Series. Again, this is Chef Lara Lopez-Dizon giving you a merry holiday cheers. Thank you.